Gas tank upgraded. Motor will be next. But not today. I need money to do the motor. Must have had this out of alignment by one tooth or something. It ran great, but then the thing exploded when I got to the church. Well, let's go do a little half-mile walk and show you the carnage. You'll be able to tell where I blew up at. Clunk, 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 clunk. Oh shit, part of the transaxle. Maybe that's what happened. This piece broke before, and I JB welded it back together. Here's where I turned the key off. Well, I pieced everything together and tried to figure out what was happening. Left quite a blood trail, didn't I? I'm glad I came back. I found another piece. But yeah, look at that. And there's one hell of a carnage trail. The case is looking pretty damn sad right now. When I was trying to get the two halves apart, this literally broke completely in half. And this side ain't doing so good either. There's a crack running along. I mean, look, there's a crack right there that goes from there. This thing is in bad shape. The gears are great though. No gears seem to have taken any damage. Thanks to advice from Chud, if I can figure it out, I'll have a little thing right here in the video, like on the left side. It'll take you to his channel or one of his videos or something, I don't know. I was talking to him on YouTube and he was suggesting that I use kerosene. Oh man, it's not even holding it, it's all draining out. That I use kerosene. I have a combination of that thing, which is, you know, a bunch of bad gas, bunch of bad kerosene, bad fuel thing. Dump that in there, and then I dumped in about a gallon of good kerosene because that's all I had left. I figured, you know, when I have more money laying around, I can replenish that fuel supply. But yeah, so it works amazingly because that's not black anymore. I soaked some of this inside and it just let it sit for about an hour and it just liquefied all the gunk I was trying to get rid of. I will be putting all that back in the junk fuel container. I can still soak it on a rag and shove it over a air intake, and that will still power an engine to get it started up. And I'm sure I'll find fun things to do with the fuel. It's no longer up for debate. I know it shattered the transaxle. I didn't even think about that. When the gear popped off, I didn't think it would have something to mount it on. This chewed up C-ring must have got stuck between a couple of gears and blew the transaxle apart. This thing's it's in horrible shape. Even the pieces that appear solid are still shattered all over the place. They just haven't broken yet. I think that shell, I'm never gonna get that thing to work again. Here's my old transaxle that was too far gone, but it's got an entire side that's not cracked, and the other side's just got a hole in it. And I could probably cut pieces of that one and patch it in here way easier than fixing the other one. I'm having this little fire in it to burn off a lot of the grease. I guess there was that bit of damage there as well, because one of the bolts broke off in here and I had to break the transaxle open and then cut that off to get the axle piece out. That's still easier to fix than the other. Man, you chickens just, what are you gonna do, eat LED? What are you gonna do, eat everything? Don't eat my transaxle now. It's not good. There's nothing good in there. You'll regret it. That's RTV. You don't want that. You don't want RTV. Please don't eat the RTV. You ate the fucking RTV, you asshole. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. Get out of here. This ain't a place for chickens. At least ones that want to eat my damn RTV. That chicken up in front is running with a piece of RTV. Why would you guys eat that? That can't taste good. What, you like RTV covered in transmission grease and transmission fluid? Cook for 30 minutes on high, then flip tape over to side B. I'll have to do some grinding, but I'm going to JB weld this over here. I'm going to weld it, and then I'm going to seal it with JB weld. Going to weld it for strength, JB weld it for seal. Yeah, I'm going to chop this off, and then chop that piece off the other transaxle and do the same thing. Now I'm going to drill and retap that hole here and put this there. It's a bit crispy this morning. And this is the latest I have slept in a long time. Like more than a month. This is the latest I've slept in. Got a moderate visibility issue as I can barely even tell we have the further away mountains. Closest ones are easy to see, but the further aways are... I can't even see it on camera. You see that faint gray ridge? That's the closer mountain. The further away ones are just a little slit above that, but I don't even see it on camera. I actually didn't make a whole lot of progress on the mower because I'm helping my friend with his truck. His header disconnected from the exhaust system on one side, and it's been the bolts we got right size because he has two different parts of an exhaust system. The bolts we got fit the bottom half, but were too big for the top half, and we actually need him to come back today so we can go to Tractor Supply and get the bolts that are much cheaper and spend 20 cents on, actually less than 20 cents on grade 8s, and instead of spending like $5 on some grade 5s at the store he goes to. I already welded this. The gap is too big over here to get a proper weld on this side, but JB Weld will do it, and hopefully there's not too much strain in that particular part of the transaxle, but there probably will because that's where it mounts past that point. So yeah, so talk about surface prep, huh? This is gonna go here, gonna weld it here, there's gonna be some holes, and JB Weld will fill those holes. So this will work. I think it will, at least. Either you can't weld aluminum or I'm just really bad at it. Trying to speed up the drying process a little. This is not as intense as you might think. This is filled with hay, but the hay's wet, so that's actually a lot of that steam coming out. And the only real fire is coming from the cardboard. The hay is burning very slowly. And there's some half-damp pieces of wood in there, but they haven't caught on fire yet either. So for the most part, actually there isn't even a fire right now. I'm gonna have to... Oh wait, no, we got coals. I can get that going again. It's weird, you can feel the moisture in it. I mean, it's very smoky, it burns your eyes, but at the same time it feels like you're sticking your hand over a boiling pot. You know, I found this fan in a dumpster when I was probably like 15 years old. My dad always bitches about how ghetto it is, but he still uses it a lot. Although it has lost its power, but that's its current life these days. It used to be like a desk fan, but it's been breaking more and more. But, you know, this fan's does its job pretty well. And it's been through plenty of burning. Still got plenty of heat coming out the top. I can touch this thing. It's kind of hot, but you know, see how the glue's doing. Oh, that's hard. That's actually really hard. Yeah, and this has only been on here for like 40 minutes. Also, I figured I'd like to point out that it's not quite the shortest day of the year yet. You know, it's just about to turn December, but it's probably, I'd say, 10:30, maybe 11, and this time of year in my region, that's about as high as the sun gets. It'll get a little bit higher, but it's basically just gonna go, and then it's gonna go, And that's, it's almost at the top of its little sky arc it does. Ain't none of that sun coming up to here shit. So snow stays in the backyard for quite a while. You know, I probably should have showed you this before I turned up the heat. I got a piece of the axle with the gear stripped off in there, so this thing sits right as it dries. I'm probably gonna add more JB Weld later. The welding had destroyed the original piece I was gonna put on it, and I couldn't, you know, add material, so I cut one off the other side, which means I'll have to use longer bolts and a nut to hold it on in the end. They're there just to help it keep it lined up. And because I had to cut this thing open originally, I'll probably have to fill some of that in with JB Weld as well. check to see if the pot's been simmering for blah 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 blah, and it is fall off the bone done. So I lost those shifting linkage in this one. We're going to take the one out of here. Spring's still in there. I got the bearing over here. It's one bolt. I think this is going to work, guys. And of course we got all our transaxle parts here ready to drop in. Ain't got nothing on the sundown. Now if it wasn't a living nightmare to get those C-clips out, I would take that really good gear and put it with this shoddy one that is uneven and has like bits missing off of every tooth and just feels aggressive as all hell. But you know, I'll fix that problem if it happens, because that is my worst nightmare, getting those things off, and getting them on is even worse. Why? The fucking bull gear's too big for this transaxle. On the newer Craftsman, this side and this side are skinnier, which this is actually a more rugged design. Everything fits except for this bull gear. This, literally everything's working and ready to go except for that damn bull gear. What the fuck? Maybe when I get paid, I'll have to go on eBay and find a bull gear that'll fit, because the bull gear is destroyed out of the old transaxle. Hey, while we're waiting for shipping, okay, let's put in gear. Oh fuck, I shifted too many gears. Reverse. Neutral. So yeah, this thing is gonna work. I don't need a bull gear fit. If I don't need the bull gear fit.